Hello, everyone. Welcome to another practice session with me. So, today is all about arms, and I'm here to decode important pointers about different joints that we have in our arms, how we can train our arms better for a smooth execution. So, without much delay, let's begin. So, to begin with, we are going to work with our frontal projection, and I want you to divide it mentally in two halves, which is upper hemisphere and the lower hemisphere. So now we talk about something that I like to call the baseline neutral for arms, which is something that requires your shoulders to be in, your arms to not be at a T point but forward as if you're playing the piano, and your elbows to be facing not downwards but looking behind, but not hyperextended. This is a range that we will explore. It's not like that it's wrong. However, when you talk about the baseline neutral, you want it to be like this. You want your thumb to be a little engaged inwards as if you're holding something. Just a little bit engaged. You don't have to be very stiff. Think of something that like a string that is just like connecting them together, right? So you have this as your baseline neutral. Do not worry. There is always a difference between the left and the right side. Okay? So with practice, that difference reduces, but the difference always remains. Why do we enter this? Is because the wrist is free to do what it wants. The elbow also has a range. The shoulder has a range. So this becomes the baseline neutral for our arms because all the three important joints of the arms are having a range of motion. Baseline neutral of the arms has to be around the center of your gravity. And that is the center that you need to find when you do your balancing exercises. Let's understand the upper hemisphere. You will lead with your wrists up and raise your elbow. And while you do that, you have to try that you don't let your shoulders go up. There's a lot of layering that by default starts creeping into our systems when we are practicing isolations. So there are two things that are happening. The wrist is leading the elbow to be going up. And the second movement that we are doing, the second body part that we are controlling along with this simultaneously is that we are pushing the shoulder down. Make sense? When the wrist is going to start leading, it will not just carry the elbow, it will also carry the shoulder. So when we are putting our arms up, when we are into the upper hemisphere, especially when we are here at the V, you will have to train your elbow to be let and your shoulders going deep down simultaneously. So how is this going to work? So let's just look at the first movement. We are going to go with the wrists and we are going to let the elbow take it. Now, this is a point where now shoulder wants to go and be let. So we want to go till here, and from this point, we are going to press. Does it make sense? So there is no need to work the shoulder unless it starts being led by the wrist. And so your body with practice will always reach that position and will know when to press your shoulder. Shoulders are in and they remain there when you go till your V. So now when we go to the upper neutral, I again want you to avoid raising your shoulders. But here at this point, I want you to rotate your shoulders. Instead of this, goes behind and joins up. Whenever you are on the upper neutral, try that your hands and your wrists especially are not above your forehead but behind, back half of. So they are not forward but they are behind. And that is something that we can achieve with this rotation of the shoulder. So we want to avoid doing one and going up like this. We want to try and do up, press the shoulders down, and now rotate it. So now the whole movement When you go from your baseline neutral to the upper neutral, it's going to look like we are going to go 1, 2, 3, 1. Another important pointer for you is that you keep your elbows bent at all points. Never lock them up. When you lock your elbows up, this won't just stretch your elbow, but also lock the movement and mobility. You will observe that your arms are much more wild. They will lose the power to control the smooth descend or ascend of your arm. Won't have much control over the curves that your arms are going to create. Elbows are nothing but the equivalent of your knees, how we keep our knees softly bent in our belly dance, right? So everything becomes a curve. Everything becomes a curve. Make sense? So let's try this on music. And 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, that being said, let's get on to the lower hemisphere. Now, when you do the lower hemisphere, the shoulders are the leader. So you are going to press your shoulder down and reach this position, and you can keep your wrist like this or like this, and even further to the lower neutral, where we are going to now press the shoulder and a bit of your elbows, and you can come here. This is a neutral that is really helpful for your big turns, for your full range turns, and a lot of your lower arm work. Let's go all the way from the lower neutral to the up, feeling our shoulders. 5, 6, 7, and press your shoulder and keep pressing it, and keep pressing it, and let it go behind, and shoulders. Keep it going for you, and you come back and go pressing it and reach your lower neutral. Anytime when you go up, your shoulders get pressed as a layer. Whenever you go down, your shoulders open up and keep the movement going on as the leader. Shoulders are not a very visible factor when we are going ahead with this movement. However, they are really, really important for you to keep a complete control over your fluidity and smoothness. Let's understand creating small arm waves. Let's call this the eye of the arm. We are here on a baseline neutral. You want the eye of the arm to go up, and when you to look upwards, looking up and down, up and down. You will experience a locking of the elbows, but you don't want to be stuck there, and you want to smoothly get your eye to look down. So you go up and down and up and down. You can practice this holding something and rotating the eye of your elbow. Now you will experience that when you do this, your palms open. So you keep your fists closed, and without doing this, bend your elbows and go here and back, here and back, here and back. You extend your wrists forward and let them come back. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Now, I want you to go here and explore. So here we want to keep our elbows where they are. Simply lead with the wrist and come back in. Simply lead with the wrist and come back in. Shoulders back. 1 and 2. It's happening behind your head, essentially the way you're sensing it. Now when you are at the A, you are going to try to get your wrist to rotate outwards and in. So you go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. The lower neutral will just have your wrists going towards each other. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 to the A and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7, 8. Go upwards and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7, 8. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. All the way back and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Shoulders down. And to the baseline, we go up and to the lower, where we up and up and to the low, where it's just this. Moving on, let's get on board with much more fluid arm waves to go up with the shoulder and back, up and back, up and back, up and back. You're taking off something. So you rotate this backwards and raise your elbow, then your wrist, and then like a very small curve and opening the palms. So step by step, how this works is you are going to get your shoulder up, and when it goes behind, your elbow comes up as a reaction. And when your elbow goes down, your wrist comes out as a reaction. And then your elbow is deeper in, your shoulder is deeper in, and you are simply going to get this small movement and flatten your palms. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, 6, 7, and 8. Go 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Okay. And the reverse of this would be forward, out, forward, out, forward, out, forward, out, forward, out. Keep your core engaged. Out, forward, out, forward, out. So you go back and back and back and back and forward and forward and forward and forward. Now let's get something with the wrist. We want to do a movement where it looks like we are scooping the inside of a coconut. Palm, scoop, curve, flat. Scoop, curve, flat. Scoop, curve, flat. Like the inside of a coconut, and you give 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. This movement is so sweet. It looks like, it reminds me of the time when I used to train in Bharatnatyam. And there were times when my Guruji would make me little Krishna, and he would just make me, and he would just teach me movements of Krishna eating the makhan, and it's like scooping the makhan and giving, to others also, ke tum bhi kha lo. So many memories. So the next movement for you with the wrist would be towards you, where fingers point towards you. You give, and then you make a little bit of a curve. Like how I feel for my dogs and my cat. All of me, I give it to you, my sweetheart. So like a sweetheart. It's so sweet to feel this movement. Now let's do this fun combination where you start from your lower neutral and end at the lower neutral. So you're going to go 1 to the baseline and wave, up to the V and wave. Now come down and you go scoop it, go all the way up and sweetheart. Then 2 times you do and then you turn your wrists and come back to the lower neutral. Let's do it at 70 BPM. Now let's try 90 BPM on the same combination. Now let's try the same on 120 BPM. Let's go forward and try 180 BPM. Thank you so much for watching this. Do like, share and subscribe this channel. And I am going to keep coming up with more and more videos, more and more tutorials, more and more combinations for you. See you next time for practice.